Well, some good friends of mine swung by, dropped off this 86 here. I got 2023, like 10,000 miles on it. But good friends of mine. We end of last year in the spring, not spring, fall time, we started fitting up this Acro widebody kit. I finished up their air ride and stuff on it. But they just swung by, dropped it off. We're gonna redo the whole trunk in it, do a full suede hardline trunk setup with vanity plate and lights and stuff, and then we're gonna throw in a Starlight headliner, wrap it in some suede and some other little goodies. But yeah, kind of give a little start to it. You know, 2023 86 Acro widebody kit, work wheels. Beautiful car. Absolutely love this thing. I'm jealous of it, but all around it's got a bunch of good little stuff: exhaust, carbon bits, everything. The work wheels they imported. But this is the main thing here. Whenever we knocked this out, we was finishing it before we went to Gatlinburg and stuff. Just want a simple, clean work for now, and then do a Starlight and hardlines and stuff later on. So I went in and threw this together real quick in like an hour or two and wired and plumbed everything. Real simple, but the plans here is to do a whole false floor, hidden compressors and everything under the floor, wrap it all in suede, do a beauty plate to go from rear strut tire to rear strut tire, and it's just going to hide the manifold and tank in there. But I'll throw together something during the process of that, give little snippets here and there. But other than that, super easy, super simple car. So many goodies on this thing. Super stoked on working on it. It's kind of funny to me, Lauren's got a cooler car than Blake, but you know, you'll have that sometimes. Blake got him a good car though, so. But yeah, we're gonna get this in the shop, tear out this headliner, tear out this trunk setup, start getting some wood cut up, and start mocking in everything, and see what we can't come up with. Make this thing a little nicer, even though it's pretty much a garage queen these days. But yeah, let's get this in the shop and start chopping it up some more. All right, we went ahead and got it in here. I already got the headliner out. I pulled it in. I wanted to double check this fabric here to see how easy it was going to come up in the backing board before. We weren't going to do a suede headliner, and then after they checked out the material and the quality of it, they're like, definitely want to do it. It's got little suede inserts on the door, so I think it'll go good. But went ahead and got the headliner out. It wasn't too bad. I've never pulled one of these, but slid it right out this passenger door, no problem. I made a little video real quick on how to drop them down, but headliner's all out. I think the hardest part was these little panels right here. But yeah, headliner's down. We're gonna go ahead and start peeling the fabric off of this. I'm gonna call the upholstery shop in the morning. I'll get a couple yards coming of this suede material. It's a pretty nice material, honestly, but we got black suede. This comes with a foam backer, so it takes up any imperfections and stuff. So like if there's a tiny crease or a tiny little imperfection or something in this, like you wouldn't notice it, especially like the trunk setup where I'm going to be doing all these panels and all these joints and everything else. It's kind of going to be lenient on that. So, but yeah, no, we got a good jump start. I only had the car for about an hour now, but we're really going to dig in and put some work in. We got the wood we got to start mocking up, but I wanted to get this out and the rest of the material coming. I already got everything else in here, so but yeah, that's where it's at for now. Let's get all this peeled off and start getting dug into that trunk. Went ahead and pulled that factory fabric and stuff off this headliner. Threw up this board real quick to make a makeshift table, and we're about to throw down some adhesive, roll out this suede material, and we'll get it all laid out and tucked down and everything and let it get tacked up, and then we'll cut out our inserts, and we'll roll on from there. And we're just gonna let that sit up for the next couple days before I throw the stars in it, and then we're gonna start getting the trunk ripped out of here so I can start cutting out these inserts and get them all glued and finished together, so then we can go ahead and start wrapping the whole trunk in suede as well. Well, we got this wrapped up now. We got the suede laid out, glued it down. We got everything tucked on the back side. It ain't bad. Everything turned out pretty slick. Obviously gonna have to clean it up real good. once we get the stars and stuff put in, I'll wipe it down with another piece of suede and get all that fibers and stuff looking even. But we got all that, got a couple foot left over and got a whole nother roll for the trunk. But I went ahead and started pulling the trunk setup out. I stripped everything down that was currently in it. So we got everything pulled. Disassembled the tank, manifold, compressors and everything from the baseboard. Went ahead and mocked up the tank and manifold how I'm kind of wanting to do it, just to get an idea to make sure my vision is going to work out. But yeah, we got everything stripped out, and so I'm going to work on getting a board cut out that is going to sit down in the bottom of there, and that way I can mount the compressors to it and water trap and a harness and relays. I can keep all that tucked under the floor. And then I'm going to start templating out these corner pieces that are going to pop in, and then the main center board. So then I can get my floor decking all set up and even and secured down, and then I'm going to build the box for the tank and stuff. So, but yeah, I'll probably mess with the stars a little bit during the week for that, but I'm going to mainly start getting all these boards and framing and stuff cut out. That way I can get it all nailed together and glued, and it can set up while I mess with the stars while it's drying. But yeah, that's where we're at now. Started marking up some little lines just based off of where the factory plastic and foam and stuff was. That way I can use it as guide points whenever I make my templates out of the board. So yeah, other than that, pretty simple. We're all just cruising along. So let me get some boards marked up and templates and stuff made up to kind of give a better idea on how I'm going about this, and then I'll jump back in. Took the sheet of 5/8. We got the false floor cut out now. I just took the trunk floor liner, threw it up on here, trimmed it out. It won't fit in as a full piece with how small the trunk opening is and everything, so I'm gonna do 3 panels. By the end of it, I'm gonna look at it and see, practicality wise, since the compressors and everything are gonna be under the floor, I'd really like to be able to access that easily. So say my faceplate, my tank and everything's gonna be mounted here, the faceplate's gonna be here, I might put a relief cut right on the back of it. So then, like if you say you pull the faceplate off, you can just pick this whole panel out, service your compressors and wiring and all that stuff, and then slip it back in, and the seam will be behind the faceplate. So it'll look like this is a full panel, but it's only 3 pieces. So that way, be able to put this in there and everything with your tank and stuff, and then pop your corner panels in. I'll show real quick what I'm doing for the supports and the floor. I was debating on making just spacers for like this cubby and everything, making little risers and doing away with this foam and everything. But this kind of just gives me a perfect, it already fills all the cubbies, it hides all, or hugs all the highs and lows and whatnot. So I'm just gonna utilize this factory foam that already puts me right here at the lip of the pre-existing floor. And then that piece of 5/8 will be able to pop right in. It'll hug up here on everything, and it'll be completely level with each other. And then I'll build an insert down here, put the compressors, and I'll put floor supports all the way around to keep it nice and solid, so they can put all your detailing supply, spare tire, anything you need to in here on the top of the floor and not worry about it. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna get that board, I'm gonna chop up, make it into 3 panels. That way it still utilizes your lips here. It'll have the supports under, it'll tuck in these cubbies real good. And I'll get that piece chopped up and fitted in here. Went ahead and did my cuts. I got the 3 pieces here. They're just sitting in here floating, no supports or anything under. I went ahead and made my base that I'm going to mount the tank and build the box to do the manifold and everything for. But that's to be determined. I'm going to judge size. That's just where I'm starting it at. I got to match my seat angles and build the box, and then I'll decide the depth of it. But yeah, so far, that's where we're at. We got our 3 panels. Like I said, I'm thinking about seaming this either right here where the face is going to sit to where you can't see it, or right behind. I just don't know if I'm taking this in or out yet. So that's where it's at. That's kind of the gist. We're going to do fittings on the side, hard lines wrapping around, manifold up above it. You'll see as it comes together. But for now, we're going to keep rolling forward. I'm going to go ahead and get these angles, start getting this box thrown together, and I might cut out the board that's going to mount all the compressors and stuff under the floor real quick, because that'll be easier. But we got these side boards cut up, got the top. It's all just resting here. None of it's glued or nailed together, but matched the pitch of the back seat, cut my end caps, made the top board. I'm still going to seal off the back and really secure it, because the the manifold, how I'm gonna mount it, I'm gonna need that to be as secure as possible, honestly. So we're gonna, let me show you this. This is kind of the plan on how the manifold's gonna mount. Centered up on my center line of the trunk, and then I'll put the board up the back so I have something good to fix it to. We're gonna bring these lines out and over, and I think I'm gonna 45 slash them through the base on each side, and then the manifold ones will come out and drop down, and I'll probably put like a center line so they're all pretty parallel visually and everything, and then that way they just all drop down in the center. And then I also got the board cut out for the compressors. Let me move all this stuff out of the way, and I'll show how that came out. Now you can kind of see how this came out. I'm gonna grab a bolt, a washer, secure that down. Try to match the same shape and everything to utilize as much square footage to give it really secure and stuff. Rotated the mounts on the compressors, and it's all tucked down below the floor. Tried to put them as far back rear because just the vibrations and sound, I want it the farthest from the cabin. It makes it a little quieter in the cabin and stuff. But I'll get these all mounted up and stuff. Run probably a nylon DOT airline up to a union fitting on the hard lines, and just union it all right here along the bottom of the board. And like I said, this one will come up, and then I could just access everything super easy. And tuck all the wiring, water trap and stuff down below here. I'll probably put some standoffs, put some gussets on there front and back just to give the center so that we don't have any kind of bowing in the center and break over a while. But other than that, it's coming together super good. I think it looks super good. Be able to pop this panel up and look down in here. It'll be all clean and nice. This will all be wrapped in suede. This is going to be enclosed. I'm going to utilize this lip for the faceplate. That way it kind of tucks up behind this lip too. So when you're visually looking in the car, you won't see the top of that plate or the faceplate. And then I could use magnets to utilize this body here and help keep it secured in place. But yeah, super stoked on it so far. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get all this box. I'm gonna get it glued and nailed together and everything so it can set up. I can start marking out where I'm gonna mount the tank holes, and then I can get the manifold position so I can start estimating where my hard lines and stuff are going to go. I'll run all my hard lines, build the entire trunk exactly how I want it, get it 100% done framing wise, and then I'll pull all the hard lines and everything out, and then I'll upholster everything, and that way all the holes and everything are pre-drilled, and should go pretty smooth, at least in my head. You never know. I'm not a professional. I'm literally just an amateur. So but yeah, here we go. That's where we're leaving off for the night. I'll jump back in it tomorrow. Got the box all glued and nailed together. Still exactly how it was. I made this back plate here just to enclose it. Got it all nailed together and stuff like that. Got all my stainless fittings put in the manifold. I'm gonna go through the pick all this thread tape off just to make it cleaner looking, because like you're gonna fixate on that in my opinion. I'll still have to figure out how I'm gonna tuck this harness maybe in between one of these, but we'll see. But yeah, got the hard line or the stainless fittings in. These on the side, I think I'm just gonna come out, and then 45 here, probably a little earlier, and then these I'm gonna bring around and I'm gonna go down, and 45 probably run them parallel into here, and these are just gonna come step out and straight in. But yeah, that's where it's at. Let me get this mocked up in the back of the car just so we can see how it is, and make sure it still fits the same. Not too shabby. We'll get it back in a little bit more up against that seat. Right now I got the harnesses and airlines pulled out in the corner, so that seat can't really sit flush, so it's not sitting square in here, and I got to recess holes for the bolt holes on this, so it's kind of sitting up in the air some. But yeah, other than that, so far so good. Plenty of room. It's kind of laying how I expected it to. It'd be pretty simple to match these curves here with a fake panel, and then yeah, I'll probably start getting these hard lines mocked up, measure out, you know, all my holes so I can start bending and placing. But so far so good. We'll once I get this seated all the way up against the back of the seat, I'll make a measurement. I'm gonna cut this panel so I can slip it out and still access the compressors, especially when I'm wiring it and plumbing it and everything. I have to load this box in from the inside. I was gonna make it just a hair shorter, but I didn't want it really tight on this. I wanted to maximize it so I can put my LED strips and everything up here on the top and have plenty of headspace there to shine and not just be like a direct LED. So yeah, I just tried to maximize box spacing on it, and then the faceplate will arch up here, so you won't see these voids in the corner. It'll kind of focus on the center here. But yeah, super simple. Just getting there slowly but surely. I'll throw in a quick little update real quick. I've been up for 16 hours, so I'm about to call it a night. Went ahead and started bending some hard lines. Measured out all my holes, got them drilled. Got singular bends. They're just free floating in there, so they're not all squared up. Whenever I go to tighten them down, I'll measure them from the bottom, make sure they're fully seated so that the center line of all these bends are even. And they look a little wavy, they're just scratched up and everything. I'll polish them and then you won't be able to see all that. Got this one bent, thrown in, kind of testing it, feeling how I want. I didn't know where I wanted to put the 90, closer, farther over, because I'm not 100% sure on my faceplate design, so I want to be able to see the design but not see the fittings as much. So kind of playing with some different things. Probably going to bring this one out, run it parallel over, drop it through. Same on the other side. But yep, got all that kind of mocked up. I'll dig in more tomorrow. I'll probably end up finishing the hard lines, and that way I can start mocking it up in the trunk. But just a quick little update before I call it a night. There it is. Probably going to make some fine, like little minor tweaks and stuff. Once I fit it in the car, like all these little holes, I'm going to kind of taper the top and bottoms a little bit just to give some relief off these lines so it don't pull on them. But we're going to hand polish all the lines and stuff. So, but I think everything's good. I kind of slightly tapered both of these lines outwards so that I could take the airlift harness through here and I could pull it up, and that way it's not running down in front of those lines and it'll just tuck directly down under the tank. But yeah, other than that, it's still like all the fittings are loose, so like all the squareness and stuff, like I will get perfectly squared whenever I tighten down the fittings. But I'm content. It's good on the eyes. So for the most part, it's all pretty square side to side with measurements and stuff. But yeah, that's where it's at. So now I'm gonna have to pull all this back out. I'm gonna test fit the box in there so I can make my relief cut for the floor plate. And then I gotta put all the suede inside this box and stuff, and then polish everything and get it put back in there. Gotta put some lights on the top too, but that's easy stuff. But yep, that's where that's at for now. Got my relief cut in on the panel here, notched out for my center set of airlines gonna drop down. I wanted those just kind of freely and a little more room. These, I drilled pilot holes. It'll slip through and then kind of help hold the box in place. I drilled these holes out and then I tapered them. I chamfered up top, so when the nut and bolt sit in there, it'll kind of center it up in this panel and help hold it rigidly, not to go back and forth. I'll probably shoot like an L bracket on each side just to kind of hold it in place, but other than that, it should be pretty solid where it's at. Got this panel which comes up. Let's see if I can do this. Slide this up. You can see I did my standoffs here. They're supporting on the floor, and then here they support the sides. That panel also rides here and here, so it doesn't really have much room. It was mainly this that would do anything, but I want to add added support because detailing bags and stuff, I don't want to sag that board over a while. I'd rather just be rigid. Went ahead and got the compressor screwed down. Yeah, it's getting pretty close. I just have to put the box and everything in, make my faceplate, and get that design cut out of it. I've been kind of mocking up a couple different designs on my phone, and then wrap it all in suede, and then I just gotta throw the stars in the headliner real quick and detail it, and it should be pretty good. But yeah, I'm super stoked on how this is coming out, super clean. I'll throw my P-trap down here, I'll screw the relays to the board, so on, so on. But yeah, no, this thing's gonna be sick. I'm gonna put a little pull tab here, and then that way you could reach and you can pop this panel up and slip it out. I'm gonna have one extra airline off the tank. I might put a quick coupler for like an air hose here, and I put them in my car. I love having my 25-foot air hose, my air chuck to blow stuff off, a tire chuck, everything. So I might go ahead and just mount like a an air chuck or something, maybe like back here, so that way if they ever need to air up or tires or anything like that, especially at shows, D-beading, it's notorious. Put a chuck, and that way they can just pop this panel up, hook an air hose up, do whatever, and then tuck their air hose back away. But yeah, no, so stoked on this. I'm gonna go ahead and get the box mocked up and everything, start working on the faceplate, and try to get that wrapped up, and then we can start doing a bunch of more upholstery. Figured I'd throw this all in real quick, just to kind of get an idea, make sure it lays good and stuff, especially before I polish everything and hard mount it after upholster. But I wanted to make sure everything looked good. I'll pull this board up here in a second. I don't have a pull tab, so I can't do it one-handed yet. But I wanted to make sure everything lined up good, everything had plenty of length and stuff, make sure I didn't need to remake any lines any longer. But yeah, super stoked on how it's going. Really could utilize making cubbies and stuff over here in the future, but for now, we decided not to. She really wants a functional trunk. Before, with the setup, you could barely fit bags or anything in here and stuff, and wanted the functionality back and compressors and everything hidden. So that was the main goal here. The symmetry here, I just really like it. I think once it's all polished out and everything, it'll look good. But yeah, let me pop this board up real quick. This just pops right out. Super convenient and functional here. But yeah, got everything in there. The board sits without any upholstery or anything. It fits all pretty snug and tight. Like all these corners, I'm gonna take the sander, I'm gonna knock down all these joint corners, so whenever you plop the panel in there with the upholstery on it, it doesn't try to rip the upholstery off the joints in the corner, just because of how tight it is. I want it snug, but not too tight to where it's gonna damage it. You know, if you take this panel off 10 times, I don't want that sway damaged. But yep, everything's good. Got plenty of room, so I'll put fittings on all of these, and then I'll just hook up the airbag lines, and then wiring and stuff will just mount here. I don't know if how I'm gonna route the harness up in here. I don't know if I'm just gonna take a hole saw and punch a hole through that whole thing to fit the hole saw in, or the harness, or what my plans are. I'm gonna think about that, because I got to do it before I do the upholstery. I just don't want it seen, so I'll probably make the faceplate first and find where there's going to be a dark spot to kind of bring that harness up and in through. That way you're not shining a light and you see it running under this bracket or something. I want it hidden. I don't want it seen. Only part I want seen is where it comes out right here and plugs in. That's all I want. But yeah, super stoked. I'm jealous. I'm gonna have to redo mine now. But yeah, that's where she's at. All that's left is do the faceplate, so we'll jump in on that. Real quick, I'm going to split this into two parts because it's already at like 35 minutes. It's massively sized, and to edit it and upload it from my phone is going to be an absolute nightmare, so I'm just going to make it a two-part. I'm going to go ahead and upload this first half, and then I already have most of the second half recorded. I just can't upload that and whatnot, so I'm actually doing the starlight and stuff right now. But I'm going to go ahead and end this right here as a part one. I'm going to finish recording the part two, and I'll get it uploaded in the next day or two after this. And hopefully most of this will be done. I'm waiting on glue to finish upholstering the trunk, and it's ready to start going together. So I'm in this part here, and then jump back in on part two.